Hey, my name is Amy Corson, and I'm an online coach and owner of She Wolf Mode Inc. I am here with your holiday survival plan to help you navigate this tough time of year to stay on track. We don't want to think of the holiday season as a wash for pursuing our goals, so there are simple strategies you can implement, and we're going to focus on 3 areas: food, beverages, and exercise. Let's kick it off by talking about food. First off, one day of overindulgence is not going to undo weeks and months of progress. Oftentimes, we may have even more than one big holiday meal to attend, like parties here and there, potlucks. So there are ways you can go about these events and kind of optimize your intake by having a plan. So going into these festivities, you're going to want to, not show up starving. So get a nice base layer of protein, maybe have a protein shake before you head into that. And when you're at the meal, I would choose higher protein, ideally lean protein sources and veggies to create that base layer at your holiday meal, so you're not initially filling up on those more calorie dense items. It's harder to get protein in during the holidays because the iconic holiday dishes are usually higher carb, higher fat, and so we want to be able to enjoy those things, but not when we're feeling super ravenous or hangry. So, take care of that initial hunger and then go in and enjoy a few bites of those other things that you want to have. Or if you're treating it like what I call with my clients a treat meal, just eat until you're full. Enjoy those things you want to enjoy. Really savor the flavors in food. It's hard to be mindful when you're eating at a social gathering, but some tips you can implement are to put down your utensils while you're talking to someone or while you're chewing, tuning in to those flavors and actually savoring the dishes that you've been looking so forward to. And just making sure you're chewing your food well and not just shoveling it down. When we get excited to enjoy a meal we've been looking forward to, sometimes we feel like, where did it go? We just ate it so fast. So not only are you going to enjoy it more and feel more satisfied if you take your time to eat slowly and mindfully, but digestion starts in your mouth. And if you're chewing your food well enough, you're going to help avoid that uncomfortable indigestion. Also, you're going to give your body enough time to send that fullness signal from your stomach stretching, just physiologically. That signal's going to take a little bit to get up to your brain to tell you, hey, you're actually full now, stop eating. So if you're someone who has trouble feeling that fullness signal, I'm a bikini competitor, and a few months post-comp, I usually have trouble feeling full, like those hormones in my body are out of whack. So if you're in that situation, make sure you're being extra mindful of portion control, and everybody should be mindful of that anyway, but extra mindful if you can't really trust your body's signals to you. So let's see, optimizing your portion sizes is key. So slowing your roll and actually savoring food. So if you are just having that one big meal, or one big meal every couple weeks over the holidays, that can actually be helpful to your dieting pursuits, just kind of getting that boost in calories. But it's when we have those little events sprinkled all over the months of November and December that we need to be careful because, like I said, those pounds aren't gained overnight from one meal, but when you're overdoing it in kind of smaller ways over the course of weeks, that's when the pounds are really going to pack on. So if you have a full social schedule, make sure that you're going into those events with a plan. And in my opinion, if you're kind of just making appearances, I feel like it's completely okay to have a healthy prepped meal before you go and maybe have a nibble of something here and there, but you shouldn't feel obligated to fill up your plate and leave every event stuffed. You're not going to offend anybody. Just recall past events and celebrations. No one comes up to you after and thanks you for eating so much. So no one's actually paying attention. Don't worry about it. It's your body and it's your business what you're putting into it. So yeah, just keeping your nutrition on point and having a nice plan for staying on track when you don't have these events going on and leading up to them is so key. So yeah, just keep your nutrition in mind on those days when you do have complete control over your diet, and then do the best you can when you're traveling out of town or attending parties. Moving on to liquids, beverages. So leveraging your liquids. Everything I just said about food can either be further exacerbated or improved by your beverage choices. So I'm going to start by talking about the choices you can make that will take you further away from progress and your goals. And that is taking part in those liquid calorie bombs. What do we have? Eggnog, cider. I honestly had some cider last night. These really high carb, high sugar drinks that are not going to fill you up and are really going to contribute to that excess calorie intake that compiles over time and compounds into gaining fat. So drink lots of water. I highly recommend bringing maybe sparkling 0-calorie sodas to these parties or events, or when you travel, picking up water for yourself immediately if you're traveling, if you're going out of town, so that you can stay hydrated, because a lot of times we get dehydrated and we're so busy with the hustle and bustle of the season, we don't notice that we haven't been drinking nearly as much water as we normally do. And so you're putting yourself at a disadvantage with the food part too there, because you're maybe mistaking your thirst for hunger and just kind of in this loop of being unsatisfied. So stay hydrated, keep your liquids a priority, and I would even suggest having a daily water intake goal. Some people try to do a gallon. I think a half a gallon is just fine. 3 liters. Have a big water bottle with you and just kind of have your daily goal to hit that, to get that hydration in. So on to alcohol. We all love to have our cocktails, and I'm just here to tell you there are things about alcohol that are not well known as far as what is going on inside your body when you drink alcohol. We know it's intoxicating, so let's take that word apart. It's toxic. So we love it, we enjoy it, whatever, it's tasty. It's totally fine to enjoy a cocktail or two at these parties, but A, realize there is calorie content there, and B, realize that metabolically, alcohol takes priority over everything else. Because it's toxic to your body needs to make that priority number one and work on breaking that down. It's broken down into acetate, which becomes a fuel source for you. I mean, we're thankful our body does that, otherwise we would be in a world of hurt. And sometimes we end up in that world of hurt anyway because we are drinking more than what our body can process. It takes about an hour for our liver to process one alcoholic beverage. So let's say you are enjoying this big holiday meal, the drinks are flowing, and alcohol also can make you feel more hungry than you are. So you're even eating beyond the point of fullness, and your body's processing all these alcoholic beverages. It could take hours, it could take all night for your body to process that alcohol, and that whole time, the fat, the carbs, the protein that you ingested are not being metabolized like they normally would or used for fuel, so they have to be stored. So those mornings when you wake up and you had too much to drink at that festivity or that party, that whole night, your body's storing all that junk you ate. So just keep that in mind when you're making the informed decision to drink responsibly. Let's see, I wrote down some notes. Let's see if I have anything else about liquids. Yeah, use moderation, and implement the mocktail at parties where you're bringing that sparkling soda so it looks like you're drinking, and the people who are hosting don't feel like they have to put a beer in your hand. Like, that's just being a good host to some people. So if you kind of bring your own thing, or even like make it look like you're drinking but you're not, and even if you are, mix in water and non-alcoholic beverages, you're just doing your whole body a favor. So another reason not to get sloshed at the holiday dinner is so that we can exercise. So moving on to the third point, exercise. Oftentimes when you're traveling or you have a packed holiday schedule, early morning is just like it. That's the time where you can get your activity in. I know when I go visit my grandma over the holidays, if I can wake up before everybody, I can get a jog in, or even if she doesn't have equipment, there's like a park nearby, I can get a body weight workout in, do some yoga even. You can kind of steal away some time for yourself to stay active. And if you have a step tracker, maybe you're completely out of your workout routine while you're visiting family or friends, but you can keep your step goal on point. Like, you can always walk. That's something you can always fit in. Walking and stretching is very easy. Bringing resistance bands in your suitcase, so lightweight, and you can knock out a 10-15 minute pump session in your room, and none's the wiser. Although, as an exercise scientist, deep in my heart, I want everyone to love exercise, so I highly encourage you to even bring in your family to some of those active minutes. Like, suggest you go on a walk after dinner. Be encouraging rather than making exercise something that's completely isolating yourself. You can kind of make it an attractive option for others as well. So my final point is that all of these things, exercising, staying hydrated, making nutrition a priority even when it's tough and you're kind of out of your element, these are all going to help you feel your best. It's going to help you relieve stress. And this can be a very stressful time of year. So just making these little adjustments and having a plan going into your holidays, just feeling like, I've got this, you are going to be all the better for it. This is the time of year where we are kind of cultivating our mindset to go into that new year. And we want to be feeling amazing, motivated, excited to exercise and to crush some goals. So make sure you're setting new goals now, starting those healthy habits that you want to take into the new year, and bringing in those feelings that you want to feel, like love, connectedness, peace, joy, harmony. So yeah, I think it's awesome to have some mantras in your pocket too, to help relieve stress during this time of year. So I'm going to close this video out by giving you some little quotes you can repeat to yourself when you're feeling extra stressed or out of it or overwhelmed by the season. All right, first one. I balance this change in my routine easily. I am beautiful and I love and care for my body. I am confident and empowered. I inhale love and exhale fear. Getting back to your breath is always something that you can do for instant stress relief. Take some deep breaths right now. Go drink some water. A couple more. I deserve space and time to feel at peace. And I create and share happiness. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you have a fun and safe holiday, and let's get excited for the goals we're going to achieve in the new year. Thanks, guys.